This is the regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Today is Tuesday, January 6th. Happy New Year, everyone, at 9:30 a.m. We are at the boardroom at 24351 El Toro Road, Laguna Woods, California. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct the regular Golden Rain Foundation board meeting in accordance with Civil Code 4930 and was hereby noticed in accordance with Civil Code 4920. So, we have a quorum. Yes, we do. And so we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance by Director Pacella.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Acknowledgement of media. Do we have any media? We do not, but we are on the air on TV6. So I need to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Director Rosa, do we have a second? Right here. All right. Oh, Director Horton. All right. And then we have the approval of many minutes. Do we have to do them separately or can we do them all together? All right. Do we have an approval of all A, B, and C minutes from previous meetings? Director Rosa?
I'll make a motion to approve
Director
all of these.
Kelsall. All right. Report of chair. All right. Well, first of all, do not adjust your screens. I am not Kush Bada. Kush is currently recuperating from a procedure. He's doing well. I spoke to him yesterday. Kush, if you're listening in or watching, the board sends you best wishes for a speedy recovery. He did, however, send us all a message that I'd like to read to you right now. Dear members, I wish you all a very happy new year. I just noticed the end of 2025 was not the end of a regular year, but the end of the very first quarter of this century, a very important and relevant 25 years of our life. The time of accumulating is gone, and the time to let go is here. We made new friends, lost touch with some, and solidified relations with others. This brings me to an important point to mention that my board members and I are very excited to bring you projects that will benefit our daily lives and will also affect our bottom line. So let us be thankful for all the wonderful things that have happened and will happen this year. Wishing you all once again a very happy new year and another wonderful quarter century. With best regards, Kush. Thank you, Kush. And with that, I'd like to welcome a new face on the board. Mickey Choi Ho is joining us as the designated GRF representative from United Mutual. With her comes her vast experience and wisdom in that position and others, and we are so thankful to have her on our board. Welcome, Mickey. All right. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to talk about how we conduct ourselves in this meeting, and that's all of us, and that includes you, our gallery. Our purpose here is to make thoughtful decisions that benefit our community as a whole. To do that effectively, we need to maintain a standard of meeting decorum that reflects respect, patience, and professionalism. Please allow your directors the courtesy of speaking without interruption or commentary. Passion is welcome. Disrespect is not. If you have input with regards or items to the agenda, please do not speak out of turn. Use the means provided by utilizing the members' comments cards to put yourself and your perspective on the agenda. Not commenting from the gallery out of turn. Why? Number one, your comments will not get into the minutes as you are not at the podium. Number two, even though you think you are commenting under your breath, the acoustics in this room are like those of Carnegie Hall. We hear everything up here, and it's difficult to hear the speaker who actually has the floor when others are speaking who do not. Every voice at this table, whether it comes from our dais or the gallery, deserves to be heard. And the best outcomes come when we listen, stay civil, and stay focused on solutions. Thank you in advance for helping maintain a productive and respectful environment as we move through today's agenda and those in the future. Thank you very much. Speaking of our agenda, it's now time for the CEO report.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice President, members of the board, and our audience. I would like to give you an update on some items going on in the community this morning. First of all, I wanted to remind residents, if they want to get involved, that they can find classes, event schedules on our website. This includes club events, recreation classes, recreation events, and then the calendars for board committee meetings, maintenance and landscaping schedules for your area in the village. This is available online at lagunawoodsvillage.com, and you go to calendars and activities calendar. So you can find everything in one place. On the next slide, Christmas tree pickup is occurring. It is being provided by our landscaping services department. They will pick up Christmas trees on the next 2 Fridays in January. So that's January 9th and January 16th. Discarded trees will be ground into mulch and used in our community. Please contact Resident Services at residentservices@vmsinc.org or call Resident Services at 949-597-4600 48 hours prior to placing your tree by the curb. And we ask that your tree be free of tinsel ornaments and so forth. I also want to provide an update on the Irvine Household Hazardous Waste Center. At the last meeting, I previously announced that it would be closing at the end of December. As an update, Irvine and OC Waste and Recycling extended the license agreement, so the center will remain open for at least 1 additional year at its current location. And so you can look at a list of accepted items online at oclandfills.com. In terms of the fiber project, the project has exceeded year-end goals for pre-wiring and installations, as shown by the data in the table below. As of 12/31/25, the pre-wire goal was 1,361 wirings, and we exceeded that by 210. In terms of installations within the manor, the target was 1,089 installations, and we exceeded that target by 53 installations. Looking ahead, the pre-wire and installation milestones for the next 4 quarters are shown on the screen before you. And I want to add a few things. Installations were not intended to progress at a uniform rate. We wanted to get the first installations finished, learn from those, so then the project can ramp up. You will see that almost 2,300 installations are planned for the first quarter of 26 and 4,000 installations for Q2 of 2026. And additional installation teams are being deployed to support the increased volume of work that will be accomplished in the next quarters. With the new year and the anniversary of the LA fires, we want to encourage residents to enroll in OC Alerts and Everbridge. OC Alert is Orange County's official emergency alert system. It sends countywide alerts by phone, text, and email. Laguna Woods Village Everbridge is used for village-specific alerts and covers gate closures, traffic and community instructions. It may relay alert OC messages with added village details when necessary. Residents should enroll in both for full coverage, countywide and inside the gate updates. To enroll, please visit lagunawoodsvillage.com, scroll to the footer at the bottom, and click Sign Up Today under the Alert OC and Everbridge logos. I also want to conclude this morning on sharing some tips for avoiding mail scams and fraud. We recently put on a workshop here at the community that was very popular, and we just want to take some of those expert tips and share them throughout our community. Please be on the alert for fake delivery notices. These are emails or texts pretending to be USPS or FedEx asking you to pay a small fee or update details for a missed package, often with malicious links. Government impersonation, scammers posing as IRS, Social Security, or law enforcement demanding immediate payment for fake debts, often using threats of arrest. Prizes and sweepstakes, letters promising large winnings but requiring upfront payment for taxes or processing fees. Also, be on the alert for phony inheritance or lottery indications. These are emails or letters from foreign officials or lawyers promising vast sums if you pay initial fees. Brushing scams, receiving unsolicited packages with cheap items from unknown sellers to generate positive reviews. grandparent or emergency scams, letters or calls claiming a loved one is in trouble and needs immediate funds, such as gift cards or wire transfers. Glue traps involves thieves placing sticky rodent glue traps or other sticky substances, inside USPS blue collection boxes to snag mail, especially checks and gift cards as they fall in. To protect against these mail scams, shred all mail, do not click links, never send cash or gift cards, and verify by calling back. If someone seems official, hang up and call the organization using an official number. Experts also encourage to take mail directly to a postal worker at the post office or deposit mail in newer high-security collection boxes with narrow slots, not pull-down doors. Drop mail as close to the final pickup time as possible. Use gel pens or permanent markers to write checks as they are harder to wash. Pay bills online or sign up for direct debits to avoid mailing checks. File complaints with the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. The United States Postal Service at spam@USPSIS.gov for fake USPS emails, and the California Attorney General. And that's my update this morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for the update. What's sad is that there's so many ways to defraud people, and what's even sadder is, with the exception of brushing, I know of someone who has experienced every single one of those, but I'd never heard of brushing before. Yes, Director Rosa?
Thank you, Siobhan, for that report. The question I have is, first comment is that it's great to see that Ting is ramping up with the numbers on the pre-wires and the installations. I know that they've revamped their quality assurance process. I know that there are concerns, though, that there might be some buildings that may be showing some of the white fiber that in their drop channels of the coming into their building. I want to encourage residents that if they are online with the new Ting system, if you see any white cable that is out, that is not channelized on your molding of your building, please call it in, okay? I know that they are coming back around and you're going to be looking at things a lot closer to make sure they get out, but I mean, we're paying on these invoices and we want to make sure that everything is done, is how they call it. Thank you.
Martin, who should they be calling?
There's a Ting hotline, isn't there?
There are Ting contact email addresses that can be used.
It's on the website,
on the village
I believe.
website, yes.
Yes.
My comment is, don't call resident services then, call Ting.
It's best to call Ting directly, and we can put that up on screen later in the meeting.
Resident services has enough keeping them busy without the Ting calls as well.
Definitely. Thank you.
That also reminds me, something that Kush told me yesterday in my update with him about fire. We spoke to the city. He spoke to the city, even though hopefully it wasn't during his recuperation, but he spoke to the city, and the city is going to be giving us close to $500,000 to do the fire, the abatement around 3rd and GRF facilities to make sure that we are in compliance with the new state codes for fire safety around our manors and our buildings, which was excellent news.
Yes, that is the public safety grant program.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're also funding things such as cameras that connect with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. So we're applying for as much grant money as we can.
Keeping ourselves as safe as possible. Thank you, Siobhan, for that update. Any other questions or comments to Siobhan before we move on? No. All right. Next is the open forum. All right. At this time, members only may address the Board of Directors regarding items not on the agenda and within this jurisdiction of this Board of Directors. The Board reserves the right to limit the total amount of time allotted for the open forum to 30 minutes. A member may speak only once during the forum. Speakers may not give their time to other people, nor audio or video recording by attendees. Please, no rude or threatening comments. Members can attend the meeting by joining the Zoom link at the address listed or by calling 669-900-6833 or emailing meeting@vmsinc.org to have your message read during the open forum. Do we have any member comments?
Yes, we have 3 in person and then 2 email
Perfect.
comments that I'll read following. The first in-person comment will be from Chris Collins.
Happy New Year, Chris.
Thank you. Same to all of you. Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here with an update on the work that the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village does on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. Thank you. 152 is the holiday number you're helping. 152 is the number of village residents needing a helping hand who receives holiday cheer this year because of you. This is made possible because of the many village residents, clubs, churches, and service groups who have supported the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village during 2025. Working with social services and South County Outreach, the Foundation has provided grocery cards so each one of the 152 can enjoy a special holiday meal. For them, that meal would not have been possible without your support. Your generosity also fueled a remarkable 28th year of the Foundation, and because of you, we continued to deliver emergency financial assistance to residents who need grocery and gas cards, Meals on Wheels financial support, scholarships for Alzheimer's daycare services, transportation to the food pantry, fall prevention classes, emergency response devices for fall risk residents, hearing and financial assistance. This past year, the Foundation also initiated a new public education program which is called Planning for the Unpredictable to help residents become emergency prepared. With VMS support, we developed newspaper and email announcements and a special emergency preparedness brochure, public service announcements, and a televised interview series. In addition, we continued to support the Good Neighbor program, which encouraged club activities to bring residents together to build community. We want to quickly extend particular thanks to these generous clubs, groups, and religious organizations who provided special support during the past year. Agape Indonesian Fellowship, the Ceramic Casters Club, Chicago Club, Chinese American Club, Friends of Bridge, Joyful Christian Church, Men's Golf Club, Needlework Club, Potters and Sculptors Club, Republican Club, Rock and Rollers, RV Wheelers, Sewing Supers, Bocce and Social Club, Table Tennis Club, Taiwanese Club, and the Village Macintosh Club, Women's 18-hole Golf Club. What are we grateful for? At the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village, the answer is very clear. It's you and the incredible spirit of generosity that defines this community. Every gift, large or small, makes the community stronger. As we look forward to the new year, we celebrate simple truth that guides everything we do: neighbors helping neighbors. And if you'd like to have more information about the foundation, there's the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village.org, which is online, or you can email at the foundationlwv@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for all the good work that you and your foundation do.
Next speaker is Juanita Skillman.
Good morning, Juanita.
Good morning and Happy New Year. I'm here with your, I'm wearing two hats today. First of all, I'd like to speak about the library, as I always do. And first and foremost, I want to thank GRF. Our new chairs were delivered on Friday, and they look so wonderful. I'll pass this around. It really does make a difference. If you have not been to our reading room, it's a lovely place to just sit and read any of the magazines or newspapers that we have. We also have tables set up, and we have a lot of people that come in and do puzzles on a regular basis. So please come and see us at the library and enjoy our new chairs. Now, during the month of December, volunteers worked 678 hours to support 1,839 residents who visited the library. 2,350 items were circulated through the front desk, and 22 residents were added to the catalog application. Now, I have to mention that puzzles and paperbacks do not get circulated through the front desk. Those are on an honor system. we don't have room for the thousands that we have into our catalog system. So the numbers we give you are hardback books and DVDs. Now, in 2025, we have our yearly figures. 26,058 people visited the library. 31,165 items were circulated, and 418 residents were added to our catalog. So we've been very busy at the library, and we appreciate all of the support that we've gotten from GRF. Now, with my other hat, I'm a trustee at the History Center, and January is my month to report to you on the History Center. The History Center is a public archive, not just a village amenity. And we serve the whole county. We serve really southern California with lots and lots of things. And you'll see when you go in there that it's not just from the village, although we are the archival set for the village. Until 2015, it was called the Historical Society. Now it is the History Center. And the building that is there now was built in 1997 from donations, and it is separate from the adjacent library building. It looks like it's all one building, but it's not. It's a separate building, and it was paid for and built by the History Center through their donations. No part of HOA fees go to support the History Center. We have 11 members on our volunteer trustee board, and we have a couple of officers that are there all the time and can help you with any of your questions, thoughts, donations for the History Center. You can call 949-206-0150 and make an appointment, or we are open from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. So come by and see. If you have not been to the History Center, you really need to see what all is in there. And it is a building that is specially designed for an archive with special climate controls and things like that that really make a difference in keeping all kinds of materials for the public. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you, Juanita. Juanita's, when she's not busy doing the History Center and the library, she also is on our VMS board. So the woman is very busy.
Next speaker is John Beckett.
Hi, John.
Good morning, Madam Chair. I'm here today as a representative of the Good Government Club. The club's mission is to improve communications between the residents, the boards, and village management. Part of our mission is to improve communications between new directors and experienced directors. The club's next meeting will be dedicated to helping new directors locate reliable sources of information. For example, the Secretary of State's website, LegInfo, L-E-G-I-N-F-O, is a reliable source of information. It contains the latest version and the full text of every law in the state of California. You can do a code search or you can do a text search. For example, you can type in open plus meeting plus act, push the civil code, and it'll come up. Our next meeting is January 23rd, 2006, 10 a.m. in Clubhouse 1, Dining Room 3. I brought you all an invitation.
Thank you.
New directors are invited to come and ask questions. Experienced directors are invited to come and share what you know. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. One more in-person speaker, and then I'll read the two emails after. Robert Helfand.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Good morning, Robert.
I'm coming here to speak about a problem that I'm asking for your help. We have a coyote problem here that I've never witnessed anywhere else. I've lived in the area before moving here, I've never seen such aggressive coyotes. 3 weeks ago, my little dog, while I was walking him, was attacked by a coyote. I had to fend off the attack by charging the coyote myself. A few days ago, in that same location, a coyote injured a resident by I understand he went unconscious and was taken to the hospital. In November, we had a woman that was taken to the hospital after a coyote knocked her over to get to her dog. I see coyotes constantly. They're not afraid of me. They're not afraid of my neighbors. I walked out the door the other day and there was two coyotes. They were going from dog to dog that were being walked in the morning. And we're talking about 9:15 in the morning when there's a lot of people around. I attended the open meeting that I think some of you attended and was shocked at the attitude of the city council because they're in charge of animal control. We have no animal control here because they're in Laguna Beach. And I wanted to ask the board to pass a resolution requesting that the city recontract with the Mission Viejo Animal Control, which is the animal control for almost all of Southern Orange County, that goes from Laguna Beach up to the mountains. Everything that we have is all connected. When we had the meeting, Laguna Beach Animal Control said they couldn't do anything because they don't control ingress and ingress to the community. And I think that's important. What I'd like the board to do is to hire an expert to give an action plan to how to control the population, which is obviously expanding, and to take what measures can be taken along with the fish and wildlife, which I understand the board can do. And because we're just not getting any services from Mission Viejo. From Laguna Beach. I see the truck almost every day. I walk out my door, it goes by, and my manor faces Mallorca. By the time I walk around past the pack on Aragon, he's leaving. That's not any kind of control. And they also said their whole program for dealing with coyotes is to put up signs for coyote alert. It would be nice, I guess, if the coyotes could read. But I would ask that we have people that are getting hurt. We have people that are scared. People are walking with golf clubs and canes and everything that they don't use. And I think it's time that the board does something. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Can I ask a question? Robert, do you know if Mission Viejo has a more aggressive plan than what Laguna Beach uses by any chance?
Yes, they do. I had a problem when I lived in Laguna Beach because I lived next to Wood Canyon. We had coyotes constantly coming. We called them. They sent somebody. They went up in the study into the hills to check. They then put out an action plan, which our homeowners association did. One of the things that they do is to try to move the coyotes away from the population area. And in Laguna Niguel, that's a big problem. We had a gentleman near where I used to live just before coming here who got bit during the day. 2 days later, we had the hillside swarming with people, destroying all their dens to get them away from the population. And I know that we have areas where they come in and come out that I think that need to be looked at, and that's why I'm suggesting an expert. But we also have a very large resident population of coyotes, and they're just not afraid. They've come up to me in my car looking for food, and I am aware of somebody that was leaving chicken out over there near Mallorca. And Laguna Beach said we don't enforce anything. Mission Viejo does. They have enforcement officers, and that's the type of thing that we need to do. Taking away fruit trees isn't going to do anything. I'll tell you that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
I
thank
saw
you
one
for
of my
listening.
neighbors walking with a frying pan yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
There are two emails I'll read right now. The first one is from Phyllis Mitchell, and they said, I would like to present you with an opportunity to greatly improve your reputations without doing any more work. The way to do this is by putting your email address on the Laguna Woods Village website under your names. You can then market this in the next Village Breeze and or the Globe by saying you are the most transparent and approachable board ever because you are making it easier for residents to contact you. Will this cause the board members to be deluged by emails? Probably not, as only a very small number of residents attend or watch board meetings or ever look at the website. So the board will get a reputation boost while doing no more work. And the final open forum comment is from Robert Cameron, and they stated, "Thank you for this opportunity to address the board of directors for GRF. I have a concern that I would like to bring to the attention of the board and the residents of Laguna Woods Village. This concern centers around the inability to manage GRF provided credit cards given to the clubhouses to purchase supplies for the upcoming GRF events. The Recreation Department is responsible for sponsoring and setting up events such as Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas buffets. These GRF credit cards are used by employees to purchase things such as flowers for these events. Clubhouse staff members go to local businesses to purchase these supplies and at the checkout stand are told their business credit card has been declined. While most employees would simply return to work empty-handed, Clubhouse employees sense a commitment in their community and purchase these on their own for these events. Their individual check requests for reimbursement almost always take longer than expected, adding both interest and fees to their personal credit lines. When checks are finally released from the accounting department, these additional charges are not covered. This has been a recurring problem over the years that I've been working with the Recreation Department and VMS. My concern are twofold. One, the Golden Rain Foundation and VMS accounting departments are asking these employees to finance recreational events that serve the residents of this village. And two, VMS is charged with the managing of millions of dollars of resident assessments, but can't seem to properly manage even a simple business credit card. And that is all for open forum.
Thank you, Michaela. Go ahead, Brad.
Steve, can we look into that and see what the issue is? I also suggest you take a look at RAMP. My company switched to that, and it's been very effective. We haven't had any issues with it taking it, and it really helps with the accounting and the coding of invoices as well.
Siobhan?
We will do some research on the City of Mission VA host program and get back to the board.
I wish Robert had stayed because what I was going to say was we did have a community board-wide meeting last year and fourth quarter of last year with regards to this. Representatives from all the boards, including GRF, were there. We did get full commitment from the city that they are responsible for this situation because it requires city and state laws, which we are bound by. And I know it's frustrating for our pet owners, and I heard it loud and clear. We are working with them. In fact, Kush and I were talking about this yesterday. It's about time for a follow-up, the promised follow-up meeting with the city. We are keeping our foot on the gas pedal on this. And yes, the signs are not for the coyotes. The signs are for people because we were advised to make sure to do that within the community, to make sure that everyone is aware. We also, in our orientations, include a whole page dedicated to pet safety when it comes to the coyotes. We are doing everything we can within our legal limits per our legal consultants, our lawyers, to do whatever we can. But beyond that, I agree. I think we need a more hands-on approach from our animal control partners. And if that's not Laguna Beach, then maybe we should look into something elsewhere.
We'll get the meeting scheduled through the city
Perfect.
manager ASAP.
Thank you. Martin, did you have a comment?
Yeah, just a comment about that. It's like you got to act big. A lot of noise. We got to be, we share the same inhabitant as they do. We live in their habitation, but I know that there's a threshold there. If it's getting to be human attacks, that's when things now they get serious about euthanizing. You can't relocate them. That's against the law. And you're not supposed to shoot them. But if we're getting like into human attacks, now we've got now they can get really, really serious. All right, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have one comment to the lady who spoke about transparency and having email addresses. When I got on United, the first thing I spoke to not Elise, but the lady who works for Elise, Susan McCracken. I said the same thing. In the Globe, every single one of us on our board should have our email address underneath our names. I think that is an important thing to do. And yes, we're going to get a lot of emails, but that's what we're here for. And we can give I hope like all of you, you have a constituent email address and not your personal email address. But we are here to serve, and I think having the ability for people to reach us is a very important thing. So I would ask that all of us do that and give that information, and hopefully Elise can work that into the template in the Globe for all of us, at least GRF. I'm just going to say GRF, not even going with United. But I see the president of United is sitting here. And representatives from Third are sitting here as well. So I challenge all of you to do the same thing.
And I would like, with your permission, to put up a slide with the Ting contact information.
Sure.
Before we conclude. I'll ask Michaela to put it up on the screen. For construction-related questions, residents are encouraged to email Laguna Woods Village Construction at ting.com. They can also comment on Ting's website, which is tinginternet.com/Laguna Woods Village. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, responses to our comments? Let's put it that way. No? Moving on. The consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are recommended for action by committees and will be enacted by the board in one motion. In the event an item is removed from the consent calendar by members of the board, such items shall be subject of further discussion and action by the board. Recommendation from the Finance Committee, an update of GRF appointments. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second? And we vote? Anyone opposed? Discussion? Anyone opposed? Nope. Motion passes. Moving on to unfinished business. We have none. New business. All right. We have several things to discuss. If I remember the order correctly, we read the resolution, have a motion, and then do the staff report. Is that correct? Yay, I got it right. All right. First is A, entertain a motion to approve the tennis club donation of scorekeepers. Would we like to read the resolution, Mr. Secretary? Item 12A. Mr. Secretary?
Yes.
Would we like to read the resolution?
Page 13.
Page 13 of 14.
Page 13.
It's blue.
Thank you. I don't see that.
Next blue one.
I don't see it.
Next one. 12A, item 12A.
Oh, this is the tennis.
And it's going to be at the back.
Okay.
Can I make a recommendation to staff that the resolution be put in front of all the supporting documentations, because it is the first thing that we do, the first thing that we read? It just makes it flow a little bit easier.
Okay, so the resolution 90.26-XX, the donation of the tennis scorekeepers from the tennis club. Whereas the Laguna Woods Tennis Club would like to donate 10 scorekeepers to be used on the tennis courts in replacement of the current scorekeepers. And whereas the Laguna Woods Village clubs and/or individual residents have historically donated items to GRF to enhance GRF facilities, services, and programs for the enjoyment of all village residents. And whereas the donation will offset operational costs for the tennis courts, the total cost of the donation is $960. And whereas the staff will install the new scorekeepers and GRF will replace when necessary, and whereas on December 11, 2025, the Community Activities Committee recommended approval of this donation and directed staff to forward request to GRF board at their next meeting. Now, therefore, be it resolved January 6, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the Laguna Woods Tennis Club donation of 10 scorekeepers to be used on the tennis courts in replacement of the current scorekeepers. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Rosa and Pacella. Any discussion, any questions? Yes, Director Horton.
If we're getting something for free, let's take it.
For clarification purposes, we would be doing the installation, so there would be some cost involved, and of course, the maintenance. But to Director Horton's comment, $900,000 worth of scorekeepers that the tennis club is willing to donate. Any further discussion? Michaela?
There are two member emails that requested
If
for me to
we are
read.
done with director's comments, I'll move on to them. All right.
Okay. The first one is from Judy S. Brown, and they stated, "Dear GRF Board, I urge you to approve the tennis club's donation of court scorekeepers. This is agenda item 12A for today's meeting. As a resident tennis player and secretary of the tennis club, I believe it is high time to replace the 10 worn-out scorekeepers on our courts. The tennis club approved a donation of funds to purchase new scorekeepers and now requests GRF approval to have the old ones taken down and the new ones installed. New scorekeepers will benefit all of the tennis players in Laguna Woods Village. Thank you for your consideration." And then there's one more. Let me pull it up. This one's from Kevin Mott, and they said, "Hello, this is Kevin Mott. I am the new president of the tennis club and would like to get your approval for the new scorekeepers on the court. They are worn out, and we approved a donation from the tennis club. I appreciate your approval for this much-needed replacement, which has been paid for at no cost to the board. Thank you in advance." And that is all.
Thank you, Michaela. Director Rosa.
Just wanted to say thank you to the tennis club for their donation, and that I know that's been a bit of a process to get this thing this far, but that I appreciate their patience, and just wanted to let them know that it's much appreciated. Thank you.
If there is no more discussion, we will take a vote.
It's on screen.
Are we? Yeah. Are we all
Okay,
in?
this is not working.
Because your name's not up there, yeah. Right? I don't see Carmen's name up there.
It's not working.
Touch screen. Try touching the screen.
Does the touchscreen work? How did you do that?
There it is. Hey. All right, the motion passes 8-0. Thank you, Tennis Club. All right. Moving on. Item B, entertain a motion to approve the selection and use of a new Laguna Woods Village Golf Course logo. So 12B.
12B, page 7 of 8.
You're so smart now. Let's see.
It's the blue sheet.
Thank you, Director Pacella. Would you like to read the resolution?
I'll read it. Resolution 90.26-XX. Selection and use of new Laguna Woods Village Golf Course logo. Whereas the Communications Division was requested to create a newly developed golf course logo to enhance offerings from the Laguna Woods Village Golf Pro Shop. And whereas on December 11th, 2025, the GRF Community Activities Committee recommended the selection of the logo with the golf club joined to the Laguna Woods Village Leaf logo, and to add a version including a female image to be on the golf course ladies' wear. Now therefore be it resolved, January 6, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopt the selection of a logo with golf club joined to the Laguna Woods Village Leaf logo, and to add a version including a female image to be on the golf ladies' wear. And resolve further that the logo previously adopted is hereby superseded by this resolution, and the revised golf course logo is adopted. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? Director Choi Ho? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Director Pachella. All right, the staff report. Yes?
On the picture here, we have two. They're different, so which one?
It's the one where the sycamore leaf is joined to the
Where
golf
it
club,
touches
is
the
the
leaf.
one that the CAC committee liked better. Is there a staff report? I believe I saw Allison. Kudos on the chairs in the library, Allison.
Thank you. Good morning and Happy New Year. Yes, you have the opportunity to approve new golf logos today. And as shown in the packet, the CAC recommends the first male logo, I guess you could say, with the golf club connected to the leaf. The CAC did recommend that we go back to the communications division and look for a more female-friendly version, which is included as attachment 2 in your packet. And basically, we're hoping that sorry, get to my notes here. It promotes player unity in golf amenities, and it allows our players to show their unity for the facilities and amenities. And the current logo represents our beautiful community, but doesn't necessarily show the pride of the golfers. So that's why our Golf Greens Committee and our golf operations staff heard from members, and they came up with these logos and want to move forward with new merchandise, including these logos. We'll still sell the old merchandise, maybe for a discounted version, but we don't expect this to cost us anything, as we're just going to use them moving forward for the gear. And again, the Golf Greens Committee or group recommends these logos, and I believe that's it. Do you have any further questions? Yes?
Where does it apply that you're going to use the female logo versus the male logo? Is there a different application for one versus the other?
So the male logo will be used on male clothing, the female logo will be used on female clothing.
Okay. And then if there's a neutral location.
Unisex.
Yeah, if there is,
You know, we're not getting into pronouns here, okay?
no. The resident obviously has the choice to pick whatever they want, and if
Okay,
they choose
just was wondering, yeah.
the more male-focused logo for a gender-neutral version, then that is definitely an option.
Thank you.
Yes, Director Horton.
Well, my question is, if we have a special logo for the golfers, are we going to have them for pickleball? Are we going to, or tennis, or lawn bowling, or, you know, I have a,
This is a request that came specifically from the golfers. If
Yeah.
our other groups feel that a logo is needed, we can certainly bring it to the CAC for discussion at that time. We don't sell merchandise necessarily at those drop-in facilities. A lot of the clubs handle their own merchandise. But yeah, this is because we sell this merchandise in the pro shops. That's why we're focusing on a logo that's specific to there.
yeah, well, that's my fear, is that they're going to be coming in asking for the same thing. And how can we not approve that for other activities? I don't know. I can see the library people with a little bunch of books on their T-shirts.
Well, there's definitely a lot of people that want to show their pride for their amenities. So
I get it.
yes, it could be generate some further discussion about how we promote the village and the groups and generate that excitement about the amenities. So
Yeah. Kill the coyotes, that will do. Never mind. Anyway, that was my question.
We have Director Reinhardt.
The only other thing I would say too, following on what Yvonne is saying, I mean, I think that there's an opportunity to expand the sales through the golf course, through web sales to other residents that don't golf. But if we make this very specific to golf, I think that that's going to eliminate that opportunity. Would it be possible to keep the existing logo? And then if a club wants to create a logo specific for their club, we can let them just have CAC approve it, whether it's pickleball, volleyball, tennis, whatever, and they could place their order through the pro shop, which is probably going to have better economics than they would individually. But I think this really limits the potential for using the existing logo to a very narrow group, to be honest with you. But thank you.
And to follow up with Brad, that was my question. Do we sell product with just the Laguna Woods Sycamore logo on it, other than in the golf shop? And would this replace that? I know it's on employees' shirts and things like that, but are we talking about removing the ability to buy the Laguna Woods Sycamore logo as is by making this decision?
At the golf, and I do have Tom McRae on, who can speak on what's going on in the golf pro shop specifically. I know we have logoed and non-logoed materials in there. I don't think it would necessarily replace it. There could be opportunity to have all of it in a variety, but I don't believe we have any other groups that we're promoting or selling the gear for other clubs throughout the village.
But
some may be doing it on their own, and we're not aware of it. But there are specific communications restrictions as well that we'd have to get approval through our communications department for that.
and I think Tom McRae just came online on Zoom as well. But I like Brad's idea too, that if this thing starts to grow, we could have an online shop, that we wouldn't have to stock merchandise, that you could choose your logo and choose your color and choose your size, and you could order it online if and when that becomes an issue. But I know golfers, they like their clothes and their bling, which we're going to talk about in CAC later this week.
And there are a lot of them, and they're out there representing, so they do feel pride and tied to their amenity.
Tom, you're here. Did you have anything to say?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sure. Just to answer a few of the questions, if somebody were to get a logo approved, I could certainly work with the vendors that we have already relationships with for the merchandise in the pro shop to get just about anything. Though the men's club, the ladies club do it for some of their particular events. It's not really a challenge. If there was some other logo that they wanted to get made, there is a fee to make a logo, but it would usually be just spread out through the cost of all the other shirts. And so anybody coming to us with an order like that would not be a challenge. And also with regards to the different logos, it's very typical in golf pro shops to have a number of different logos that are placed on the shirts. We have some that just have the leaf itself. We have some that have the leaf with the Laguna Woods Village on it. And what people have been asking us for some time is something that is particular to the golf course. So like when you walk around, you see somebody with Torrey Pines golf links on their shirt, that's what that is. That's what they've asked for, and we think this is a good alternative that will not replace anything. It will simply add, and we'll do a variety of different logos. So there'll be different offerings, and if we see one moving better than the other, then we'll start to go in that direction. If one logo starts to sit on the shelves for too long because people don't like the logo, then we'll stop that and we'll go in the other direction. So it's a very dynamic thing. This just gives us something that people have been asking for.
Thank you, Tom. Any other discussion? Any other comments?
There is one member comment.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Tom.
Charlie Prater.
Charlie. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you. Directors, Yvonne, I think it was Brad that was even speaking over here. You haven't heard very many, quote, negative issues on this. However, I got to say that I have been approached by golfers, and I'm getting people to say it's not needed, that the golfers like what they have out there. They're the ones that have the show. All my golf shirts have the logo on them. I don't think this needs to go forward because I think we should spend it on other avenues. But you're not hearing the people up here saying no, but they are out there. Just want to let you know.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say Pebble Beach has a tree, we have a leaf. So we're kind of in that category right now.
All right. Do we all know our mind? Are we ready to vote? All right. All the votes are in. The motion passes 5 yes, 2 no, 1 abstention. And thank you for making the ladies' logo a little thinner than the men's logo. Just saying.
I don't see.
Back to the agenda. All right.
I don't see C anywhere.
12C, entertain a motion to approve a supplemental appropriation from the Facilities Fund in the amount of $30,275 to fully fund Clubhouse 2 replastering of the pool with 10% contingency for unforeseen circumstances. This is 12C, and it's not, okay, so we don't have a resolution.
I can speak on this briefly because it's part of M&C.
Okay, well, hold on. From a process standpoint, I don't see a resolution here. There is none. We just, okay, so we don't vote. We do vote, but it's not on a resolution. I'm so confused. Okay. Hi, who are you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Guy West.
Oh, hi,
I'm the
Guess.
Projects Division Manager. So, yeah, we didn't have a resolution because this is also going into a closed session, so you'll find it's in your closed session. That should have the resolution.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
asking for the supplemental in open session and then the contract award in closed session.
I did see that. Okay, now it all makes sense. All
Okay.
right.
If there's any other questions, I can answer for you.
Well, it kind of seems like we're putting the cart before the horse here when we haven't approved the contract.
To make a motion.
I make a motion that we approve it.
Okay. And we have a second?
Second it.
All right.
Discussion?
And we discuss. Questions for Guy?
Just to follow up on what Guy was saying, the original vendor that was selected for this backed out of it, and the subsequent vendors that can do this were more expensive than that original vendor. So this supplement just covers a company that can do it, and we have history with, and we know that they'll do a good job. That's all this really is.
Okay. So we budgeted a certain amount, and when the bids came in, they were higher, from what I'm reading into this, and this is why we're asking for the supplemental above and beyond the capital expense that we had approved. Is that correct?
Correct.
Got
All
it.
the bids that came in were higher than what was budgeted. So the funding is insufficient in order to do the project.
Okay. I just want to walk it through for everybody who's listening and watching as to why we're doing this and why we're doing it
Right.
this
This is a forecast that we do year prior for the budget purposes.
Sure. And prices change.
And prices change.
Gosh, we know that. All right, so what do you need from us today? Just a hand vote, or? Oh, no, we can vote this way. All right, so we are entertaining a motion to approve a supplemental appropriation for $30,275 above and beyond what the original bid quote was, or budget was, for the pool replastering.
Yeah, so the appropriation will be $30,275. That is
That's correct.
the amount. Yes.
All right, thank you, Guy.
Thank you.
All right. That was moving on. All right, hold on, let me get back to my agenda here. All right, moving on to D, entertain a motion to approve the update to the recreation room rental fee. This was on a 28-day notification from the previous. So we are voting to put this into effect. It is very long, so I don't
just
know that
gonna
we
read
want to
the
make
fir-
our secretary.
I'll just read the first,
Oh,
just the
yes,
first.
wait a minute, Director Horton has an idea.
Well, if they only read the resolution, not
Right.
the changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the resolution.
There you go.
Ready?
Director
Okay.
Michela.
Room reservation rate policy, Resolution 90-26-XX. Whereas according to Resolution 90-12-132, which established guidelines for shared costs and fees, certain fees can be imposed upon users of various recreational facilities in order to control crowding, to minimize overusage, and to recover operating costs. whereas the board periodically reviews fees as part of the business planning process to determine adequacy of revenues and shared costs. Now therefore be it resolved February 3, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the following revisions to the room reservation rate pricing policy. And then there's the attached list of the
There's further.
nominal changes.
Okay, at the end, there's further resolution.
There's further at the end?
Yep, might as well read it. Resolve further.
Resolve further that this resolution shall be effective February 3, 2026, at which time Resolution 90-24-01, adopted January 2, 2024, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? Director Horton, do I have a
second it.
second? Carmen
I'll second
Coachella. All right, well, let's do the staff report first, because there's a lot to this. Steve?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So there's a lot to it, but I'll try to keep it brief. The main intent of this is, on an annual basis, we take a look at the fees that come through based upon a set schedule. So the room reservation fees were part of that schedule. In theory, it should have come before the board previous year. So in 2024 for updates in 2025. So however, due to the significant increase that occurred in the previous year, we decided to postpone that change and implement it in 2025, what you're seeing right now. So the increase is being applied to all the room reservations. It's simply the math is staying the same the way the fee is calculated. It's simply, here is the cost associated with all of the room rentals, the facilities themselves, applied against all of the, it's incorporated into the pricing. So the reason why you're seeing an 18% increase is the fact it's a 2-year change. So here is, again, the math is staying the same, so we're asking for the fee to be increased to stay in line with what you have approved via the budget. Thank you. So the only thing I'll add is there is an 18% increase for all of the clubhouses with the exception of the PAC. The PAC sees a higher increase, and that's because, as you can imagine, there's a lot more costs that are incurred in the PAC than there are in the other clubhouses.
All right, and further, what expenses does this cover? The fees that we're voting on right now, what part of the fee structure of the running of that event during that, in that venue do these cover?
It covers all the utilities. It covers some staffing that's administered in both direct costs and indirect costs. There will continue to be additional charges if you need additional sound technicians. So those same fees that are in place will continue to be in place as a supplemental cost on top of the room reservations. But to answer the question specifically, again, it has a lot to do with utilities. It has to do with some indirect costs having to do with maintenance of the facilities, whether that's be landscaping, whether that be other ongoing maintenance to those buildings.
And what percentage of those costs do these rates reflect?
Thank you. So it's going to range depending upon, some clubhouses are more expensive than others. It's going to range anywhere between about 5% to about a 20% cost recovery. So the community is supplementing the cost of these facilities that are being billed back to the residents and clubs. So in previous meetings for the Finance Committee, I believe the same thing was presented to the CAC meeting, is this is subsidized, and if you were to look at the market rates in other local communities, this is much less. But that is one of the benefits of living here in this community, is you have access to these clubhouses, and the clubs put on many great events, as well as so do the residents individually. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Question.
Yes, Director.
If you look at the Finance Committee endorsement, there's one member objection to it, and I wonder if the director's mind, was there any, what was the rationale behind that opposition? I'm just wondering, curiosity. It's raising overall, or the way that we handle the rate increase, anything? I'm just curious about it, right?
I'd like to make a comment. I'm going to vote no on this because I don't think it is enough of an increase. But the bigger picture is, what should that percentage look like between what residents who use a product pay versus what all residents pay? And I think we are all over the board. It could be 80%, it could be 20%, depending on the activity. So I think that's my biggest problem with setting a new rate now, is I think this is a broader issue, and we need to, as a board, between us, United and Third, frankly, come up with what that mix should look like. Should all residents pay for 35% of everything that we do, and the users pay for 65%? What should that look like? Because I think we should be consistent across all of our different activities personally. So that's just my comment.
Okay,
That was
you,
my
Director
suspicion.
Reinhardt.
Thank you.
Director Horton?
But this fee doesn't cover setups, does it?
What, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Say that again.
Setups for the
Oh.
rooms.
It is the base rate that we're referring to, correct?
Correct, so,
So,
okay.
and-
Just
and
so we make it clear that there's still a setup fee.
So, and also with regards to the overall pricing, just use the word inconsistency. So when we brought this before the board a couple of years ago, we did address that. So we came back and we made various recommendations in terms of different levels that we would achieve. So ultimately, this was the rate that was recommended, or excuse me, approved by the board at that time. So what we're seeing here is your costs have increased, and now we're just moving that back in line with the updated pricing. So the structure, the way the fee is calculated, is remaining the same. To address that comment, that'll be up to the board, and we can bring that recommendation at a later time. But since the fee has not changed in 2 years, I think it's important to make certain that these fees, the costs have increased, therefore the fee should increase. My recommendation continues to be, I would highly recommend you approve it here today, 128 day, and then at a later time, if we want to revisit it, which we are scheduled to do so annually, we can have the conversation at that time.
I'd like to address Director Reinhardt. I completely agree with you. Understanding that the room rates that we're approving today are for our social clubs. They are for the things that keep the social aspect and the community involvement involved. We had, at CAC, we had a number of groups, social groups come in. They were very concerned about any increase because that means that they have to increase to their members, all right? I don't want to penalize them. I think what you're saying is the same thing that I've been saying and a number of people have been saying, is we need a separate room rate for private events because we are not, the community is subsidizing somebody's bat mitzvah. There's somebody's grandchild's reception. To the extent of, Allison in our meeting ran some numbers for me, $800 an hour in some cases for local venues. We're charging $600 for the entire evening, and maybe not even that, depending on the venue. We're not recouping the cost for a private event. And this is where we get into the whole shared use discussion that we can have at a later time. But I think it's a discussion that we need to have, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm also concerned about what the clubs pay, to be honest with you, because we haven't set that rate. We haven't set that ratio, I should say. So I'm not in the golf club, so should I expect to pay 30% of the golf course costs or 70%? That's my point. It's not just the room rental rate. It's all of the activities that I have an issue with.
It's a larger
And we
discussion.
do it so infrequently, and it's not staff's fault because every time the board changes, the policy changes. But I would say we need to do a long look at all of the activities, set whatever rate we want it to be between residents and users, and then have an annual increase based on COLA so we don't skip 2 years or 5 years or 10 years without an increase. Because in my mind, nothing's going down in cost unless I'm mistaken.
No. I would agree with that, Director Patella.
all good points. I think what we have here, there's two different things going on. The square footage rental for the room is a general room rate that's spread across all the clubhouses for all members of the village. But when they go to rent the room, the rec department they have a Q&A with the person that's renting the room, and if it's an exception rate, then it's a much higher rate for outside people. So to solve your problem about paying for somebody's wedding or confirmation or whatever, that they pay a higher rate. There's two prices on there, and it's substantially higher. It's almost market rate. So I think it's fine to have that, but I think we as a board have to look at it as two separate transactions. One is the square footage rental in the rooms that's controlled by the rec department, and to Brad's point, the big picture, the super big picture, is the cost sharing throughout the village. So I think it's two separate things. So as far as this motion is concerned, I would approve it.
And I agree with what you said. If I did not make it clear, I think that's exactly what we're saying here.
Thank you.
So, but for the purposes of this discussion, we are back to the resolution of the standard room rates. Is there any more discussion, and are there any member comments? If no more discussion. No? All right, then it's time to vote. Do we all know our mind? All right. And we're all in?
I would vote, except I can't find my cursor.
You just click it first to wake it up. There she is. All right, the motion passes, 6 yeses and 2 abstentions. And Brad, your comments, and Carmen, your comments are well taken. All right. Moving on to a general discussion regarding marketing options in general and specifically Blue Zone certification. Hi, Carla. Carla has joined us. Hi, good morning. Would anyone like to start the discussion?
Well, I know that it was kind of assigned to staff to see what has already been researched and reviewed. Has staff has something that they can offer up on this topic?
I don't believe it was directly assigned to staff, quite honestly, but I can tell you a little bit about the blue zones. They are very expensive, and they do apply to cities.
Okay, let's start at the beginning for those of us who are just catching up.
Sure.
Let's go over what a blue zone is and why we think it could apply to Laguna Woods and what the benefit would be to do so. Because I think everybody needs to get on the same page on this.
I think any application of the blue zone, that came from the board. I'm not an expert in it, so if Mark can speak to it.
That's
all right.
Look at you, Martin.
Okay.
Let's start there, shall we?
Yes.
All right. What's a blue zone, Martin?
He's not old enough to be an expert yet.
A contributor to the National Geographic Society, Dan Rutner, created this research program that they found 5 cities in the world that had, they were going by I think it's called Power 9 Living, that there was 5 locations in the world, Okinawa.
Or 7, 5.
Yeah, someplace in Greece, Sardinia, place in Italy, Central America, a city down in Central, and of course Loma Linda, California. Since he created all this, he decided to copyright it.
Smart man.
Yeah, smart man. Capital Blue, Capital Zone, he copyrighted, LLC. You can say blue zone all day long, lowercase letters, okay? And it mean the same thing. But I guess there are other communities that are taking on the licensing of Dan Rutner's LLC to get that certification. And I guess it's a process, but if you Google and look up Power 9 Living, Laguna Woods Village falls in so many of those categories of that as to how we live. Whether the Blue Zone certification would be is it worth us going after that? Probably not. We could say that we are a Blue Zone style, all lowercase, but after finding out about the LLC and the licensing and certification of that can be an expensive endeavor. But it is. I've even find out that a couple of these regions, they've dropped out. There's been a lot of criticism. They've dropped out. There's been like fast foods restaurants added to these locations that now the lifespan isn't what it used to be. It's dropped down. So, but we know that in our community, we have a good lifestyle. That longevity is a key factor. A lot of people, they move here and they don't leave. This is where they're at, and we have an active, great community that just perpetuates that longevity, and it's great to see. It's too bad that there's been something created with this this LLC but I know that if you're all lowercase Blue Zone, you can do whatever the heck you want with those words. Does that explain pretty much?
What is a Blue Zone?
Okay, a Blue Zone is, like I said, it's a community that has the various types of standards of living, a social life, a spiritual life, a diet life, that they have a high number of centenarians. Am I saying that right? Centenarians living in their community, which we do, incidentally. And
the water.
Yeah, but those 5 original locations around the world were identified as being Blue Zone by Dan Rutner of the National Geographic Society, and we could endeavor to be one of them. But whether it's worth going after the certification, but I do know this, to say that that we are Blue Zone style or Power 9 living definitely is a marketing advantage to Laguna Woods Village. Does that help?
It does. I think it helps everyone
Aye.
here. All right. Dr. Pacello.
Number one, since we have it on record as capital B and capital Z in certification, if we do anything in writing that says Blue Zone in lowercase, we'll be nailed.
That's not what I mean.
Okay, I'm just telling you, we expose ourselves, number one. Number two, the Blue Zone label is good for marketing. We don't have a marketing department. We're a closed system. We're not selling any more units. We're not building anymore. So to have a Blue Zone moniker, or to use that legally, is very expensive. It's about a $1 to $4 million transaction, and it doesn't end once you pay it. It's every year. There's a certification process. There's 70 cities around the world that are applying to this system, and they're paying dearly for it. City of Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, and Manhattan Beach, they collectively have formed a beach cities development, and they're paying dearly for this, and it's all on their website. So you can see all of this data. So it's kind of like a moot point. If we were building lots of condos and we needed to get some marketing tags or what have you to promote the village, then it might be worth it. But $1 million to $4 million over 5 years, and then a continuing certification, plus all of the staff we would have to do this. You have to go through training. There are $10,000 training courses. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And I just don't think we're up for it. I mean,
It'd be more so a benefit to the real estate
well, what I would
industry.
do, I would, very simply, I would take your proposal, or this suggestion, and go to the city of Laguna Woods, have them hook up with Laguna Beach, and they can form an Orange County beach situation like they did in Los Angeles, and have Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, because we are in a beach community, 6-7 miles. So we have all the enjoyments of that type of living. Yes. And we hit on almost eight of the 9 categories automatically, because we have walking, and we're active, and we're social, et cetera, et cetera. So we're a prime example, but we're just a village. We're not a city. So this is more designed for municipalities around the world. You know, Miami, Florida does it, Austin, Texas. There's a lot of cities that are trying this out. And I mean, you can do a deep dive on it, and you can read about all it. But
I don't think we need to, because you have.
I mean, well, I mean, don't take my word for it. My situation is that the premise that we need a marketing tag, we don't need one, because we're not marketing anything. We're here just to keep the lights on, keep the roads paved, you know, keep the pools clean.
Well, value is important.
Pardon?
Value is important. All right, we need to make sure that we maintain our assets and that we maintain our image, okay, towards those assets. So there is an element of responsibility
Right.
there.
Yeah, but is,
Thank you, Director
Is the
Pachella.
work-
I believe Carlos has a.
I believe Director Pachella covered everything that I was going to say. And also, quite honestly, I've seen it on the municipal level, and it does apply to the municipalities. And as far as what we do here in the village, I wouldn't spend your time and treasure on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Director Kelsall.
Yeah, the biggest question I have, and Carmen, thank you so much for doing all of that deep dive so we have a better idea. What is the value proposition of this thing? What is the advantage to us for doing it? Is it only reputation or prestige?
That's it.
Is there any other benefit to us for $4 million? No. Okay, that answers it.
Probably be an increase in property value, but I mean, I don't know what the offset would be relative to the spend. We could cut down all our trees and rename it Laguna Blue Village, and that would be probably more expensive than $1 million.
I believe the original premise on all this, and thank you all for your commentary, but I believe the original premise was not just Blue Zone specific. It was marketing. Keeping Laguna Woods top of mind in a rapidly building retirement community environment. People have more options nowadays to live in a retirement community. Marriott's doing it, Disney's doing it, right? And they're coming online, and with all the bells and whistles and EV charging and super hot Wi-Fi, it's already there, it's built in, right? So what we were looking at, as we all sat and agreed, that why don't we look at ways to market Laguna Woods Village to keep us in the discussion along with all of these other players in the market. Blue Zone just happens to be one that Martin, you know, and I agree with you, Martin, I think we are a Blue Zone, but I don't know that we want to spend $4 million to advertise that fact, is what it comes down to. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't, and we do have a marketing department, we do, that we shouldn't be leaning into the health advantages, identifying them, of living here and sharing those with our real estate friends. So that's where this whole thing started for purposes of.
Look up
But we
Power
can do
9.
that without Blue Zone.
And I think that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So anyway, Martin.
I was saying, look up Power 9 living. It's the same
it's the same
categories
right.
as what Blue Zone qualifies to
So
be.
there's an interesting, you can go on YouTube and look up, there's 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes did, Leslie Stahl did there were 2 sessions that they did on the village. And if I were a real estate agent, that's the only thing I would use. That, to me, that's the marketing right there. I mean, it's that simple. So
As advertised on 60 Minutes.
it's advertised on 60
It was
Minutes.
eye-opening. All right. Any more discussion about this? It was a wonderful Well-rounded. Any commentary? Howard had his hand up. I see his hand up. All right, on that note, we are scheduled to take a 5-minute break if needed. Are we needing? We're needing. All right, so we will take a 5-minute break. Count us down, Michaela, if you would please. Keep us on time. And we will take a 5-minute break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in session after a rousing discussion about blue zones. All right. Next on the agenda are the committee reports. And as per the usual, we start with the Finance Committee. So, Director, you haven't spoken a whole lot today. Director,
Well, I was saving my voice for this very minute.
well, the floor is yours, sir.
Let me start by saying that the next Finance Committee meeting is Wednesday, the 21st of January, and I encourage anybody that's interested in the the GRF finances to come and join us for that meeting. It's here in the boardroom at 1:30, I believe it starts. The first slide here is. Well, I'm going to do some reading. The first table includes all the revenues from operating reserves and restricted funds. I'm not going to spend time on this one. I want to dig down into the operating and the reserves rather than treat them as a group. So if we could go on to the next slide. This slide is operating income only. Oops, let me. Which excludes non-operating revenues, expenses, and depreciation. The report shows an unfavorable variance of $737,000 through the reporting period, and non-assessment revenues worse than budget by $650,000, combined with your total expense worse than budget of $87,000. The column it's interesting in looking at it is you have, if you look at the budget versus actual on assessments, we take credit for the full planned assessments. On the non-assessment revenues, you can see that the revenues are down by $650,000, and the total revenues are with that are down $650,000, and the expenses are down or higher by $87,000. But the important column in my mind is the actual column, which shows us down by $1,363,000 in the negative. Now here's where I'm going to invite Steve to step up. Steve, what's the significance of excluding depreciation? What is by excluding depreciation? How does that, or including depreciation, the consideration of depreciation, how does that affect the number?
Sure. So on this slide here in front of you, the expenses, we remove depreciation. It's a non-cash item, so in general terms, there's something called EBITDA, so earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. So depreciation is something that you don't necessarily control. You purchased a bunch of assets. Over time, we are going to remove them from the balance sheet. We're going to expense them out. So it's an uncontrollable cost. So everything else on the financial statement is more or less within your control. Okay. So we go ahead and present those figures.
Well, let me just ask it for my clarification. Mm-hmm. Is depreciation included in total expense?
On the first slide, it was. On this slide, it is not.
It's not.
There is a footnote next to total expense with a 1 next to it, and at the bottom it says excludes depreciation. Okay, so this the negative effect this is real dollars. Depreciation is, I don't want to say that wrong. Mm-hmm. Depreciation, say it for me. Correct. Yeah, the depreciation has been removed from this equation. Okay. So the important thing to take away from this slide as well, if I may, is if you look at the budget column, you'll see that we planned on having a loss of $626,000. So, and just as a reminder for those of you during the budgetary process, 2 years ago in 2023, you earned more revenue in the previous years than you had in expense. So per Civil Code, we transferred that money into your savings account, your contingency. So when you built this 2025 business plan, you intentionally planned a loss. So again, you brought in more money than you had in a couple of years. You put in a savings account, and your way of giving it back to the community is to plan a loss here. So this was intentional. The reason why that you are experiencing a $737,000 more of a loss than what you had anticipated is, as you mentioned before, it's all part of the revenue. It has to do with earning less revenue from your broadband, as well as some of your chargeable services as well. So
Those previous surpluses were based on the interest we were getting on our reserve funds, right? I mean, we had a pretty big positive there that was not anticipated.
Correct.
When interest rates rose as much as they did.
Yeah, so a combination of things.
And depreciation would really only impact taxes, and it may not even impact us based on our category.
I take that back. So your interest that you earned on your investments, that was all from a reserve perspective.
Right.
So that wasn't part of the surplus.
Understood.
So,
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
the surplus came, I believe, partly from, forgive me, it was 2 years ago. I'd have to go back in and review, but more than likely it had to do with staffing, as well as your big savings typically comes from insurance. And this year you're paying more, but in the past couple of years, it's typically coming from, again, staffing as well as insurance.
Steve, thanks for doing my job for me. I appreciate it. Next slide, please.
Oh, can I ask a,
Excuse me?
never mind, it's here on the chart. Kevin.
This somewhat goes into what Steve was just saying about why we have positives and negatives. And the positive side, employee compensation related costs are favorable by 614, primarily in the general services and landscape. There are various open positions in general services, primarily in fleet maintenance. Open positions remain throughout the organization. Recruitment is in progress. So that's the biggest positive factor. The next one down is fuel and oil are favorable by 133,000 due to fleet switching bus engines from diesel to gasoline. Another positive below that is the higher fitness center class fees. And below that is they did less training of the staff, which gives us a positive. On the unfavorable side, and I think Steve just mentioned, we changed, or did we change insurance companies, or just, we changed?
Well, hazard insurance.
So your insurance, as you'll see with many communities, it's mostly your car and some hazard and liability. Those insurance costs are just increasing, so significantly. So my personal insurance, probably all of your personal automobile insurance is increasing. That is what you're seeing from GRF's component. Separately from United Third and presumably Mutual 50, their insurance is tied to their homeowners insurance, which is going down. That's why you're going to see a difference between the mutuals versus GRF.
Thank you, Steve. The utilities and telephone costs have risen. The cost allocation, that's payback to United and Third, is cost the GRF money. And of course, our usual monkey we beat here is broadband services. With the streaming taking over, we're making considerably less money on broadband services. And finally, on other services, we're unfavorable by $568,000 due to unanticipated electrical and system repairs, including pre-action systems for the broadband building, as well as lighting upgrades and troubleshooting at various clubhouses. So that's our negatives and positives that contributed. The next is the revenues, and the broadband services, well, I won't dwell on it, but broadband services is the biggest portion of it, followed by golf revenues. Interesting, clubhouse rentals and fees, that represents 8%, so it is less than 10% of our revenues come from those fees. And if I'm not mistaken, if the change in the clubhouse fees adds about $60,000 to our revenues for,
So not significant.
yeah, it's with the level we're at. Next is the expenses. And as we can imagine, the employee compensation and related expenses are the biggest chunk of it. Interesting, the cable programming and franchise, while we collect considerable amount of money on broadband, over $5 million, our programming and franchise fees run 400 and some thousand. So it's when I first looked at the income, and I thought, oh my God, we're making a fortune on broadband, until I looked at the expense side of that equation. The next, insurance, professional, and legal. Interestingly enough, in that particular case, the insurance is the biggest chunk of it. It's $3.4 million for insurance, professionals about $800,000, and legals about $200,000. So, when I first saw that, my question I had for myself is how much is our legal costing us? And I think that's the $200,000 is a manageable number.
Would it make sense to pull insurance out and create its own category?
I'm
Since
sorry.
it's insurance.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to pull insurance out and make it its own category to monitor?
Well, it's been explained to me that it's bounced back and forth. We've consolidated and we've broken out and we consolidated. I'll talk to Steve about breaking that out. It'll make for a very small slice for professional and legal. But as has been explained to me, each board decides to split it in different ways. Moving on to the next slide. In our financial report, starting with the first column on the left, reserve funds have combined ending balance of $39.7 million. Restricted fund balances have an ending balance of $2.8 million. Restricted funds being the contingency. Including these totals are contributions received in 2025 through assessments, the trust fund, and investment earnings. The second column shows the work in progress of $10.4 million for reserves and $0 for restricted, reflecting the amount paid for projects not yet completed. And the third column represents the resulting adjusted fund balance of $29 million for revenues and $2.8 million for restricted. Next slide, please. This refers to our home sales. The numbers for 23 and 24 are through November. They're not for the full year. So in fact, we're about 40 homes less in resales in 25 through November than we were in the previous 2 years. The average sale price is up from $429 in 23 to $493 in 25, which is looks like a considerable increase to me. And on the first now through the end of through the end of last month, December, our trust transfer fee was $7,500 with certain adjustments. Now in the 1st of January, it's going to $10,000. And that's reflected in the 2026 budget. It was reflected that we're going to be getting $10,000 on the transfer fee. The next slide. The listing on this slide gives you an idea where the reserve money is committed. Of the $29.8 million appropriated by the board for various projects and equipment purchase, the remaining encumbrances against our reserve fund is $9.9 million, primarily for fiber optic and fiber improvements and work on the GRF facilities. And you'll see that under the broadband and other GRF facilities. Okay. On this slide, we see with the visually the distribution between the unallocated, which is our contingency fund, the trust funds, and the operating funds. The trust fund is the one at the bottom, and at the end of year-to-date in 25, we're sitting somewhere around 16 million, according to this. And that's something that the board is going to need to address. It's going to require a resolution for the board to move that fund out of the trust facility fee fund into the reserve fund. So that'll be coming up at subsequent finance committee meetings, and then coming up to the board to move those funds, because they're not spent directly out of the trust facilities fund. And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim. Good job. All right.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Good job. Next is the report of the Community Activities Committee. Director Horton.
Okay. Well, December was an exciting month. The holiday tree lighting event hosted 275 people. They enjoyed the carols and cookies and Santa, and also at the Performing Arts we had a successful Whitney Houston show and a stunt dog show. Thanksgiving dinners at both clubhouses at 2 and 5 hosted 405 people and 425 people respectively. And then there were 567 GRF representatives or department representatives. They were volunteers, and they had their annual volunteer luncheon. Now, I've gone to this luncheon, and it's a great luncheon, and it's for all the volunteers that we have in our community. And they estimated that the volunteers donated 50,000 hours, saving GRF $821,000 in 1 year. So I think that's tremendous, and we owe those people a big thank you. The other thing that the residents are encouraged to check the pool schedule. This is the time we annually repair all of our pools. And so we ask you to check your schedule so you don't end up at a pool that's closed for maintenance. Anyway, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Horton. The next meeting is?
Thursday.
January 8th at 1:30.
Yes.
This Thursday, coming up. All right, report of the Landscape Committee from Director Reinhardt.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I was not at the November 17th meeting. I was assigned as the committee chair more recently than that. The one thing that we did do significantly is we did change vendors for the tree maintenance. And we were aligning ourselves with United and Third, who are also looking at making a change to a different tree vendor. We do have 39,000 trees in the community, so that is one of our larger expenses. Everything else was pretty much routine in nature. Our next meeting is February 11th at 1:30 in the boardroom.
Thank you, Director Reinhardt. Well, you might as well keep going.
Maintenance and
Director of
construction.
Construction.
Yes, we had a meeting on December 10th. We already discussed the Pool 2 replastering, which is going to require the additional funds. Other than that, everything else in the M&C was routine in nature. The next meeting for M&C is going to be February 11th also. at 9:30 in the boardroom, so I guess I'll be here all day.
Busy that day.
Yes, thank you.
All right, next is the subcommittee report of the Energy Ad Hoc Committee. Director Rosa.
Yes, of course, there was a meeting on this held way back in June but we have scheduled a meeting to be on March 9th, providing I want to see the appointments from the other mutuals as to who can join us, because I don't want it to just be a GRF only. It needs to be represented by the other boards as well. So TBD on that.
Okay. All right, moving on. Report of the Space Planning Ad Hoc Committee. Director Nato. That's you.
I'm an alternate.
That's what it says.
Oh, my God, someone changed it.
The Ad Hoc Committee met on October 20, 2025, and the next meeting is
the top
TBD.
line.
I'll take the heat for that one, all right.
Teach you to miss a meeting.
Well, that's interesting. I thought I was a alternate on that committee. I didn't realize that.
Surprise!
Okay, I'll do better next time.
That's okay. Moving back over to Director Rosa, report of the Broadband Committee.
Yeah, the committee met in December 10th here in the boardroom, and the meeting was well represented by Ting, the fiber contractor, internet service provider. And as you saw in the CEO's report, the progress numbers of the pre-wires and the turn-ons, they're getting that ramped up. It is a logarithmic increase, not linear. Of course, I am concerned about, cables that are exposed, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the team does on that quality process that they have. It shows here that there's a meeting scheduled for January 14th, but that is incorrect. I believe the meeting is more so mid-February. I got to get with Jose on that. That will be the next meeting for the Broadband Committee.
It says next special open meeting, which implies that we're talking about something in particular.
Why does it say special?
Your guess is as
I'm
good
just
as mine.
special,
I'm just
I
reading
guess.
what it says.
No, it's this next open meeting.
Okay, all right. So we're not having a meeting on the 14th, is what you're saying?
No, not
All right.
January 4th. It'll be in February.
All right. Report of the Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Director Calsall.
Met on December 3rd. The next meeting is February 4th. And there was some supplemental appropriation for replacement of utility vehicles, 7 utility vehicles, an appropriation cost of $115,500. The motion carried. On the transportation, we have 3 different transportation systems. The fixed route or Easy Rider, which is a 9-passenger shuttle bus. The Laguna Woods Journey, which is for residents with medical needs, and the Boost, which is an on-demand contractual partnership with Lyft. The Easy Rider, the fixed route, we had in 2024, 6,720 trips, and that's average monthly. The ridership from January to October 25 was 7,334 trips. Journey from 2024 was 556 trips. Average number of monthly trips between January and October 25, 633. The Boost, which is a Lyft program to supplement the fixed route, the average from January to October was 850. We had, on September 2nd, fixed routes 5 and 6 were suspended, with Route 3 taking its place. Commercial Route 2 was also suspended on this date, but Commercial Route 2 was reinstated on November 17th. And I think that's, oh, there was one other one. A review of security vehicle requirements. The 2023 capital plan had a total appropriation of $216,130. It was to procure SUVs as security vehicles. However, following review, the staff determined that pickup trucks would provide superior functionality. and they were able to purchase 4 vehicles, were approved in 2023 capital plan for $216,130. When we merged the resident routes 5 and 6 and commercial routes 1 and 2, temporarily combined beginning September 1, but we had few complaints regarding the merge service. Riders adapted effectively. Anticipated operating savings associated with the permanent combination of routes 5 and 6 is $62,000 a year. That's it.
Thank you, John. That was a great update. And I believe Director Rosa has a
I
question.
have a question for you, John, or for the staff. I know that there were, I'm just going to say a number of new vehicles awaiting commissioning or, racking, radios, terminals, whatever need to be in. Where's that number stand? Did they get those things get them in service?
The number stands at 0. They're all in service. And,
Hallelujah.
We are still awaiting the 4 security vehicles, so those aren't in. So those are come in today. You'll see 4, but we talked to Jose yesterday.
Got
so
all
we're at
those
0.
other ones out, and they're in service.
Yes.
Yippee.
Wonderful news. Yes, Director Reinhardt.
Those first 2 route categories, I mean, those numbers are basically 1 rider per trip.
Yeah.
We need to look at consolidating those routes down. Because there could be substantial savings without a real degradation in service level, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, funny you should mention that, because that was a hot topic of discussion during that meeting. 1 and 2, nobody seemed to like the combination of 1 and 2. We are continuing the pilot program. It was voted, and it was a split vote as to whether we should keep 5 and 6 together. There seems to be some hiccups about scheduling, and we're hoping that it will work itself out. We are under review for our next meeting, which is, I believe, in February, where we'll make a determination as to whether or not that's working. But it wasn't working real well for the people that were using it. That's not to say that it's not saving money, because obviously it is. But we're hoping that the results will be better and that we can check that off the list.
I think that those buses are one of the more expensive items to maintain in our fleet also. So less usage would help with the savings there.
We talked about that, and we talked about that too. Okay. So that is a pilot program that is currently in work, and we will report back in the March meeting. No, we'll have the results before the February meeting as to what the result was of that program, of that test. All right. Moving on. Report of the Security and Community Access Committee. That is me. I was not on the committee when it met in October 22nd. The next meeting is February 25th. But as of today, the gate ambassadors are still with us. So that was a huge bone of contention on the 22nd. Moving on to the report of the Laguna Woods Village traffic hearings. Director Horton.
We found everybody guilty.
Well, what type of transgressions are we seeing? Because I find that fascinating. Is what are people doing that they shouldn't be doing?
Rolling stops.
Okay,
California stops. And the worst place is on Carrizo and where you make a left-hand turn. What is that? Alta Vista and Carrizo.
What gate is that there?
7.
7.
Yeah. So
Has there been
they don't
any-
like to stop there, and that's my street. So, and I've almost gotten hit there twice. So,
Has there been any consideration of putting a flashing stop, how they have the stop signs that flash?
no,
Right in your window.
no. I want a speed bump there. That'll stop them.
The better question is, and I hope I'm not opening up a Pandora's box here, but are those flashing stop signs even working?
No.
I mean, I think that's the bigger question here. And I
have the answer.
I agree with Director Horton, and I know Carlos has a position on this because we've discussed this. Speed bumps.
And let me tell you, I've put in speed bumps before. I was the one over at Garden Center 2. People were whizzing around there because it's a horseshoe. And so we put in speed bumps. And then the people that drive their golf carts, they said, oh, that just will rattle the golf carts.
It does.
So before I could even come up with an idea, the people at maintenance, they cut a piece out this big, and then they put golf cart. And so the golf carts can fit, but the cars still have to go over the speed bumps.
Can we please do that up at the tennis center? For God's sake. I mean, we go up and down on those golf carts, and seriously, the low ones are fine, but those strips, my God, they'll knock your fillings out.
I think more appropriately, that conversation would be get at the committee level to make sure that all factors are considered and the locations and any other
Well, that is a golf cart path, so no car would be going there, but still.
I have to tell you,
that committee.
I have to tell you that that is about the cheapest, fastest way to slow people down. Those rubber ones, they're held down by downspout spikes, and you can pick them up and move them anytime you want.
Okay, and I'm going to ask Carlos to say, every time I bring it up to him, what the negative, what the con is, because I know we all have this. What is the con of putting speed bumps on our streets, Carlos? The biggest one.
Well, for first responders, both police and fire, it slows down the response. And then, of course, that could be debated. But if you're the one that needs their response to be as quick as possible, you'd probably definitely see that as a con.
Director Nato.
On the flashing stop signs, there's one on Santa Maria when you're going over towards Gate 10, which I pass by on. And I think it's effective. It gets my attention. And it gets my attention. And I always stop at stop signs, but that one.
Yeah, the one by Gate 5, I think, has definitely helped with the stoppage there at that. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, here's my personal opinion. People who aren't going to stop at a stop sign aren't going to stop for a flashing one. What we need is something to actually slow them down. At Saddleback College, they have those literally right before the stop sign, like within 10 yards, not even 5 yards of a stop sign. They have what Miranda calls a sleeping policeman. They have a long. You have to stop at that stop sign. You have no choice. So I think the security, I'm on that. Security and Community Access Committee really needs to look at effective measures and not just Band-Aids. Yeah. There it is. All right.
There it is. And Carlos, I was a firefighter, so
really?
Come on. Yes. Ask me about it later. But I know that I rode on the tailboard, and we hit on those speed bumps, and it was I could see over the hose bed. I bounced so high. But anyway.
So that's a con, you're saying then?
No, I'm saying that we don't have engines with tailboards anymore that we use. And so everybody sits inside the cab. So it'll be just a little bump for them. So that is not a good excuse.
We will discuss this further.
And just a reminder, anytime you're looking at traffic safety, you're looking at the 3 E's, enforcement, education, and engineering. So those, when you have those discussions at the committee level, those are factors that need to be talked about and considered just before you make any decision.
Well, thank you. All right.
If we're going to put speed bumps in, you need to get the gate ambassadors to approve it because they make decisions for us, right?
Who?
Oh, gosh.
Strike that from the minutes.
I didn't.
Executive, moving on, executive member.
Oh, they would approve it.
Executive. Thank you,
You're
Director
welcome.
Reinhardt, for that bit of humor.
Anyway, everybody was guilty.
Yeah,
Wait, executive member committee hearing?
this is you, Director Rosa.
Yeah, we met on December 11th, And we are not meeting on January 8th. That's been bumped back. We don't have.
We only have 5 people.
Yeah, it's a minimal number. And I'm just going to say one thing is that please maintain your garden plots. That's all.
Does that seem to be a huge issue in the
I
executive
don't
member?
want, well, I shouldn't, it's a closed committee.
Oh.
So I
So
can't
if
get into the details.
you
But I just want to
cannot.
say, as a matter of opinion, just maintain your garden plots. Thank you.
You mean the ones in the nursery?
I have a garden plot. Yes, and that's an issue. And the rule is you have to plant in your garden plot 9 months out of the year.
And every 2 months, you got to plant something too.
No, 9 months out of the year.
Is garden plots managed by CAC or by landscape?
CAC.
Okay.
But we have a supervisor at the garden
We do
plot.
now. Brand new, right? Brand new. All right, moving on, back to Director Horton, report of the disaster, the one we just, I'm sorry. Report of the Disaster Preparedness Task Force, Director Horton.
You want me to report on it?
I just got
Director
this
Rosa, I
job
know.
5 minutes ago.
Director
You're doing a great job.
You're doing a fabulous job.
Well, I know that the committee met on September 30th, and the next meeting is later this month, but I know that President Cush did meet with the city, and we're all over them to have them update us on their emergency operation plan that they're supposed to give us to make sure that we're not doing things redundantly and that we align with Orange County Sheriff. Also, too, that we talked about that $500,000 that some of that money went towards the businesses of Laguna Woods, Long Moulton and El Toro there for their camera systems and of their businesses to get mapped into Orange County Sheriff Department. And so it's all about creating information back to where it needs to be for the effective security.
Very important task force. You might as well keep going. Information Technology Advisory Committee, Director.
Yes,
Rosa.
that's a closed committee. It met on October 31. Kush chaired that. I was in Indonesia. But March 27th, I don't know if that's a good date. I think it's going to be sooner than that. But I got to get with Chuck about that because we're wrapping up phase 2 and it's looking good.
Good.
That's all I can say. Thank you.
And that is the end of our committee reports. Moving on to future agenda items, of which we don't have one because we just voted on the recreation room rental fee. Is that correct? We're good?
No, that will be brought back to February for final approval.
Oh, so we're putting it on 28 day
Yes.
today. I misspoke
Yes.
earlier, people, sorry. All right, so we're now under 28-day review of those room rental fee increases. All right, and we are now to the director comments part of our meeting. So I will start with our newest director, Director Choi Ho.
Well, thank you for welcoming me. It's good to sitting on this board. This is my first board meeting. Well, however, GRF items are not totally new, because when I was serving on United Board for 2 years, I've been serving in different committees. So I'll be placed in some of the committees, I believe. So, again,
Oh, you will be.
Right. So again, I believe the GRF board is very important, working in conjunction with the mutual board, because it's for all our community safety and also for the well-being of our residents. So I am very excited, and I'll be looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Castle. Hi. Would you like to make a director's comment? Hi. Man of very few words. Director Horton. Director Horton. Director Rosa.
I don't know about the rest of the directors, but welcome, Mickey, to the board. And just to also say that next meeting, we'll probably have a couple of new faces as well.
We hope.
And so there's a lot to ramp up on. So I'm hoping that the newer faces are getting acclimated and that things are looking good. Good meeting.
Thank you. Director Reinhardt.
I've already caused enough problems. Thank you.
Director Nadeau. And last but certainly not least, Director Pacella.
Yes, we need two positions filled on this board. And there's multiple other boards. United is looking for 4. So all of these boards and all of the committees need people. And I would just like to make just a comment that I don't know what we're not doing or what we could be doing to get more people involved, more volunteers to come forward to fill these positions, because the people that live in this village, it's their voice, and their voice needs to be heard, and we need more people. So that's my take on what we need to be doing.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. I do not have anything. I've said everything I need to say. We are in recess at this time. The meeting is recessed for lunch and will reconvene in executive session to discuss matters per California Civil Code 4935, including member disciplinary matters, personnel matters, contractual matters, and litigation matters.
12:30?
I will ask, she makes all the calls here. Michaela, what time will we be in recess to for lunch?
It's currently 11:44. I'll say 12:15 if that
12.
works for the board.
Yeah, that keeps us on schedule for whatever we need to do
Perfect.
after. Okay, so lunch, and then we're back in at 12:15. All right, thank you all for attending.
Upstairs.
Oh, yeah, of course it's upstairs, yes, sorry.